Right up there.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, can we get a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by Lynn,
Second.
second by Jennifer. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is approved. All right, now we have Celebration of Excellence, a couple of Rocori Proud presentations to do. So that's to do.
Hey, first up we have our state wrestlers, Austin and Ben.
Welcome. So, on behalf of the school board, I'm Jason Wiesenberg, the chair, and we're honored to be able to acknowledge your big accomplishments this season for wrestling. Both of you had made it to state, so we've got Austin Marshall and Ben Primus. So, if you can just maybe tell us a little bit about your season and maybe some highlights and of your season.
Well, I don't know, it went pretty well full season, I guess. Started off really strong.
Anything about the state or that you want to?
It was a cool experience.
Yeah.
It was nice to go down there, at least experience everything.
Okay.
Just wrestle on that big stage.
Yeah, and Austin?
Well, the season, it started off kind of slow, and then it got better
Okay.
as it went on.
So how long have you been wrestling?
Since second grade.
Second grade and how long?
8th grade.
8th grade, okay. So to make it to state and only been wrestling for what, how many?
Yeah, it was cool, I guess. Be able to have gone that far so quickly.
Pretty awesome. So, well, we are very proud of your accomplishments, and I know that there's lots of people that help you support you to get to that point in your career and your life. And so we've got some acknowledgments maybe for some parents here. If you'd like to acknowledge them, and I don't know, our coaches, he's not here.
Unfortunately, our coach is not here because
Coach
he's
is
at
not here.
parent-teacher conferences.
Okay, so, or anybody else that maybe you want to acknowledge besides parents, if you want this.
Just say thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you, my parents and coach. It
Okay,
was awesome.
okay.
Yeah, thanks to my mom and dad. and my kids.
Okay, so, well, congratulations, and how many more years do we have left to maybe see you back at state?
Well, I'm a senior, so
Senior. So this is it for you, and 2 more years, okay, well, maybe we'll see you again next year. So-
Austin has been to state last.
Oh, yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
And congratulations. So, there you go. And I think we gotta do a picture.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Good luck. All right. And then the dance team coming next? Or no? Yep. Okay. One for each team.
Okay. Here they come.
All right. Hello. All right. And I'm Jason Wiesenberg, the chair of the Rocori School Board, and it's an honor and privilege for me on behalf of the school board and Rocori School District to be able to present you with a Rocori Proud today. So for your accomplishments of going to state for the jazz and kick dance this season. So is this the jazz and kick team, or is this?
Part of it. Yeah,
Part of it?
there's about 20 dancers on kick
Okay.
and 10 on jazz.
So there's nobody else out there? This
No,
season?
this is all that came.
Okay, so glad that you could make it, those of you that were able to make it. And then, do we have captains here, or?
A couple,
Yeah.
me
and
and
Andrew.
Carly. Yep,
Right.
and then Emma
Okay.
Conrad and Ellie Wiggum as well, but they couldn't make it.
Okay, so if we could maybe just get a little bit of your highlights for both the jazz and the kick teams and your season and how things went with state.
Sure. For a kick, at least we had, so like I said, we danced 20 girls, and 10 of the girls had danced on varsity before, but the other 10 were all rookies and they never danced on varsity before. So that was something new this year, that we had a lot of new girls, but we still did really well. So that was cool.
We ended up placing 7th at state.
Mhm.
And then for conference, we placed 3rd overall on kick, which we have never done before.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
Yeah, and then jazz too. Yeah, like I said, we had 10 girls for jazz, and that was new. We lost a lot of good seniors last year, but we were able to build up the team this year and have a strong jazz team. So we also took 7 at state in jazz too.
And if I heard correctly, like your points were actually higher than some of the teams that made it into the final.
for kick,
But
yeah.
you
for
did,
kick, yeah.
your rank was not.
Yeah, it was tight. It was really close, but
So you're
yeah.
just right on the cusp. For those who don't know, if you make 6th place, then you make it to the final.
Mhm.
But 7th place and less, then you're just do that one
Right. Yep.
series. So, and then do you know how many seasons this has been now? You made it to state.
I think it's been 9, but like 6 in a row. I think the last 6 years we made it. But I think it's been 9 total or something.
It's a pretty good
like that.
tradition. So
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. So, well, congratulations to you. And again, we know it takes like coaches and parents. And I didn't know if there's any other parents or anybody here to.
No, there's not. Our coaches
Just-
couldn't make it tonight.
Okay.
Some of them were
There
busy,
you go.
but yeah. So.
Well, congrats to you. Was there anything else that anybody wanted to share as far as a highlight of this season, or? No? Okay, well, congratulations. So.
Thank you.
And we'll take a picture, so. This is the sweet jazz, and congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We move on this way, otherwise we get the camera, this camera gets in the picture, so everybody move this way.
Yeah, come to more
Push
shows.
together, there you
Yeah,
go,
there you go.
perfect. Right, here you go, ready?
Wait a minute, you can hold this then.
Oh, yeah.
Other people holding the certificates. Smile, Jason. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
She just asked who to ask you.
Okay, so comments and requests from visitors. Do we have any visitors? No? Okay. Then the consent agenda. Anybody want to pull anything? Otherwise,
I move to approve the consent agenda.
motion by Kara, second by Sunny. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Consent agenda is approved. Discussion item A, enrollment projections.
Chair Wiesenberg, so in front of you, you see the 21-25 enrollment projections. In the first column, you can see where we currently are. And then you see the 20, 21, all the way through 24, 25 estimates. Those estimates are the most aggressive estimates that we have put forth to you. And so you can see we are trending upwards in our enrollment. It needs to be noted that, in our enrollment studies, we're seeing that our resident enrollment, resident students, so those students moving in, or living within our district are flattening or even declining. And so those projections are showing the increase of open enrollment to Rocori schools. And so what that means to the public is those students who do not live within our borders but choose to come to Rocori schools.
Okay. Very good. Well, I appreciate you bringing that forward, and I think that we'll have some other discussion in the work session later today.
Correct.
There's some more information. I think that's included in that packet too. So.
Also, you'll see in front of you for later is the actual enrollment. So, because people always want to go back, well, we were this big in history. So, I do have a document that shows where we've been since 1972 all the way to this year.
Okay.
So.
And I think if you want to see that, it's an attachment in the work session packet. So.
Correct.
So you can check it out there. So. Okay. Well, thanks for bringing that information forward, and we'll move on to the next item unless there's any further questions at this point. Okay, action item A, Achievement and Integration Plan.
At the last meeting, I had Sam Court here. He introduced the Achievement and Integration Plan. It does need to be approved by board action. We have reviewed it since, and it's all in good shape and it's ready to go. And so I recommend that you approve our Achievement and Integration Plan for Rocori 2023.
Okay. Any questions or discussion about the plan?
So I move to approve the Achievement and Integration Plan for fiscal years 20 to 23.
Second.
Motion by Kara, second by Lynn. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The Achievement and Integration Plan has been approved. Item B in action, request for property use.
So in front of you is a request by our Hometown Pride Committee to use the area above and below the creek on the, I would say that's the west side of the brewery. That's been used for previous car shows, and they are requesting to use that property again for this year's Hometown Pride car show. And
Make
I
a
would-
motion to approve.
Second. Motion by Sunny, second by Jennifer. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed?
And I abstain because I'm the coordinator of the Hometown Pride Committee, so.
Okay. And Lynn abstains. So the motion carries. Approve the use of the space for Hometown Pride Days. Okay. Administrative and board reports. Superintendent report. Is that
Okay.
correct?
Yep. So there's a couple of things here. First thing you're going to see on there is the monthly report for enrollment. And you can see that we are still at 2207, which is higher than our estimate for this school year. It has pretty much, looks like it's kind of leveled out where we've averaged we're at about 2210. So I'm confident that enrollment will finish strong, being that we just started our third trimester and we have those students are here. So I'm confident that we're going to finish strong, and that's a good thing for us. Again, just another one of those markers that shows that enrollment here at Rocori is strong. Have a couple other reports to share with you. One is a legislative report. I want you to know that I'm following closely the constitutional amendment that has been proposed by retired Justice Page and President Kashari on education. So our current Constitution talks about education. The legislature shall make provisions by taxation or otherwise to secure a thorough and efficient system of public schools through the state. So our Constitution specifically calls that there needs to be a uniform system, and it's funded through taxation for our schools. The amendment that is being proposed changes it slightly in that it says all children have a fundamental right to a quality public education that fully prepares them with the necessary skills for participation in the economy, democracy, society, as measured against uniform achievement standards set forth by the state. It is paramount duty of the state to ensure quality public schools that fulfill this fundamental right. Nobody is arguing that that statement is a bad statement. There's not at all. People are just concerned that there's not a mechanism for making sure that there's the funds available or dedicated to our public education system. So there's a difference in wording, and of course, people are interpreting it differently. And so we'll just be watching it. We'll see what happens. You might see this on the ballot in 2020. Also, legislatively, I'm following closely the budget surplus and the amount of different agencies that want to have their hands on that budget surplus. As you know, they came out with about a $1.5 billion surplus. And of course, education would love to see their share of that. We as a superintendent's group are lobbying for 1% on the formula for this year. And then relief on the special ed cross-subsidy. Just so as you remember, or as you know, the federal government is supposed to be helping us at about a 40% rate for special education, and right now studies show about 15%, so the federal government is falling way behind on IDA. What does that mean for Rocori? That means about $1.3 million in our cross-subsidy. So those are general fund dollars that have to be used to subsidize our special education costs. And we would love to be able to have that $1.3 million back in our general fund to build our programs up, our general education programs. So that is something that we're following very closely. And lastly, as superintendents, we are following a lot of, right now, mandates that are coming out through legislation. And of course, we want to see a reduction in those mandates, especially the ones that are unfunded. So we're watching those closely. So legislatively very active, even though it's not a budget year. I think there's, what did they say, there's been over 4,000 bills introduced this year alone in all areas of government, but following some very close ones as far as our school is concerned. And then my last report that I want to make on is what is the Rocori Public Schools doing in response to the coronavirus? And as those parents who have emails know, I've sent them two lengthy emails or updates on what the district is doing. We are participating in the Minnesota Department of Health statewide calls that are on Wednesdays at 10:30. We've had 2 district administrative meetings involving our nurse in this last one. Just about being prepared. And we're going to have more discussion tonight in the work session. But I cannot emphasize enough to parents and to our kids and to our staff, when you come to school, okay, the best thing you can do is make sure you wash your hands, okay? Cover your cough or your sneezes, and if you're sick, stay home. Those are the 3 things that the CDC and the Department of Health in Minnesota have been overly saying. Those are the 3 main things that help prevent the spread of this disease, of this virus. So, no confirmed cases here in Rocori, which is good, and we hope to keep it that way. So that's my report.
Okay. Any other items? Otherwise, this meeting is adjourned. Okay. We'll move into the work session then.
In about 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
Do we have to do a motion?
Yeah, that's what I was
say I
gonna.
have to do a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that. That the class that I went to said that I can just adjourn the meeting, so.
Okay.
I don't know if that's something that we want to do, or rather formal do that, or.
I know Robert's Rules of Order say that you can just adjourn it, so.
I was gonna try and just ask if there's any other questions or discussion.
I don't really care one way or the other.
I just wanted to
Just my
expedite
hand out.
our meeting by trying to do that, so
Okay.
that was what my plan was, so. One less formality that we need to go through. Well, we were super efficient.
Super efficient.